Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicleknight channel. This video is sponsored by PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. Please remember to use my code KNIGHT22 at checkout so that you can get a 5% discount. Before going to the video, please take a second to click that like button. And we're on the road to reaching 10,000 subscribers, so please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for all of your support, and I hope you enjoy the contents I put out in this channel. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Espathra EX from the PALDEAN FATES expansion set. Espathra EX has a very disruptive ability called Dazzling Gaze. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon will cost one more colorless energy. This ability is so disruptive that if your opponent is not careful, it may just prevent them from attacking at all if they run short on energy to power up their attacks. There are a few ways you can enhance this ability, perhaps by using or Team Star Grunt to remove energy from your opponent's Pokemon, which is good, but the consistency of the deck might just become adversely affected since you can only use one supporter card per turn. Crushing Hammer is also an option, but its success rate is only 50% depending on your coin flip. So in this build, I thought of utilizing Rugged Helmet instead. If the Pokemon with this is damaged by an attack, you can remove one energy attached to the attacking Pokemon and put it on your opponent's hand. For the most part, Espathra EX has a decent enough HP to survive an attack or two, so this tool card can be very useful. Espathra EX also has the attack Psyball. For one psychic energy, it deals 30 plus damage, and 30 more damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. So you can actually stack energies on this Espathra, and thanks to its ability, which forces your opponent to attach more energy to their Pokemon to attack, the damage output to this attack will increase even further. I am also using double turbo energy to add damage to this attack because it counts as 2 energies, although at the same time it does reduce your attack by 20. It might not seem much, but for a single energy, you're adding 40 damage instead of 30, so that 10 extra damage may actually help you get a knockout on some targets. I have seen a lot of variations with this deck using Xatu to accelerate energy to their bench Pokemon, but I wanted to do something different, and since Espathra EX only really needs 1 energy to attack, I can still make a build that didn't have Xatu. One unique approach I thought of is by using this MINUN with the Buddy Pulse ability. If you have a Plusle in play, whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to their Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. I think this is a great pair with Espathra EX's ability because your opponent will be forced to attach an extra energy to attack. And I'm using this Plusle to activate Minun's ability. As my secondary attacker, I'm also using this Espathra. It has the Stance ability. When you evolve into this Pokemon during your turn, you may choose to activate this ability, which prevents all damage and effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon until the end of your opponent's turn. However, just keep in mind that effects of abilities can still affect this Pokemon. It also has the attack Glittering Eyes. For 2 psychic energies, it deals 70 plus damage. And if you have the Tulip supporter card in your discard pile, this attack deals 140 damage instead. But since this is not our main attacker, I only included 1 copy of Tulip in this build, which is a decent recovery. You can put up to 4 in any combination of psychic Pokemon or basic psychic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. I also added 1 copy of Mimikyu with a safeguard ability which prevents attack damage from EX or V Pokemon. And in case you fall short of knocking out a Pokemon, I have 1 copy of this Farfetch'd thanks to this attack Leak Lash. For 2 colorless energies, it deals 20 plus damage and 10 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. It pretty much doubles the damage already on its target, plus 20. This is a great finisher for those already weakened by Espathra EX. As far as Espathra's pre-evolution, I'm using these 4 versions. This one has 30 HP, but it has 0 retreat cost. These 2 have different attacks that could be useful, and this one has 50 HP, which is the highest out of all of them. As for the other cards worth noting, since Path to the Peak can turn off Espathra EX's ability, you can use Worker to discard a Stadium in play and draw 3 cards. And to take care of tougher Stage 2 EX matchups, I've included a copy of TM Devolution, which allows your Pokemon to devolve all of your opponent's Pokemon 1 stage down. And if you put enough damage on your opponent's Pokemon, you may just knock out their Pokemon when it is devolved. I have seen other builds use Pokemon League headquarters to further increase the attack cost of all basic Pokemon in play by 1 colorless energy. However, I went for more consistency so that I can set up my basic Pokemon in play with Artisan, although you could probably replace one of the other stadiums. I know this build is a little unconventional, but the result speaks for itself. Keeping a good balance between its disruption and attack I think is the best approach. There may be a lot going on in this build, but once you recognize the value of each card in this deck, you can really catch your opponent off guard, which may lead you to a lot of victories. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Espathra EX. Alright, on to our first match. We won the coin flip, and I like going first with this build. We're going to start this one with the Farfetch'd in the active spot and a Bidoof on the bench. And we're going against Miraidon EX. Alright, this is going to be a tough matchup. We're going to use Hisuian Heavy Ball first. There is a mana feed there. And 2 Espathra EX are prized. We do still have one more in the deck though. And we might not need mana fee in this build, so I'll go ahead and sacrifice that. And I'll set up Flittle. I think I'm going to go with this one. And then we still have an Ultra Ball to get our Barrel next turn. And I'll preserve my cards here so I can use that to discard to get my Barrel. My opponent will use Tandem Units to help them search for 2 basic Lightning Pokemon from their deck and set up on their bench. With another Miraidon EX, they will do the same. And they have 2 Mareeps and an Iron Hands EX. Electric Generator produces them no lightning energy, which is really great, but they do attach 1 lightning energy to their Iron Hands EX, which could be very dangerous. That could net them 1 extra prize if they knock out one of our Pokemon. Farfetch'd is also weak against lightning, so that's very dangerous. They will pass though. Got a level ball from our top deck. Could start attacking with Farfetch'd, but I might need a Yono. So let me go ahead and just sacrifice these 2 to get my Barrel. Because if I didn't draw into the cards I need to set up further, I might just need to use Iono. So let's go ahead and use Industrious Incisors first, and sure enough, I think we will need to do that. Go ahead and put Bidoof. Maybe having 2 Barrels is great. And Pokegear 3.0 is also really helpful too. Although we didn't get any supporter at that time, and I'm just going to use Iono. Alright, we got Plusle, that's great. And Rugged Helmet, I could put that in Farfetch'd and start energizing my Flittle here. So if they knock out my Farfetch'd, that will remove 1 energy from the attacker and put that energy to their hand. Once we set up our MINUN, that could actually help put some chip damage to the Pokemon they attach an energy to from their hand. Alright, with the Nest Ball, they will get a Mew EX. And they're gonna boss my Barrel. Okay, that's really bad. We have really bad hand here. And we need that to draw more cards. But thankfully, they don't get an attack in just yet. I'll just put another energy to this Flittle. And use Industrious Incisors. We got Squobit. I might need that actually. Go ahead and use Nest Dash. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But if my opponent knocks out my Barrel, that could be very bad. We got an Artisan. I'm not going to play it just yet, just so my opponent doesn't know what I have in my hand. And hopefully that's going to help us to survive another turn. Alright, they evolve into a Flaffy, but just end their turn. Alright, let me go ahead and use... Let me put Artisan in play first. Nest Dash. Boss's Orders could be great, but we don't have an attacker just yet, and we need to switch out the Barrel. We got a switch! And an Arven! Okay, we might actually get an attack out this turn. I'll just grab these 2. Now with the Ultra Ball, I can get an Espathra EX. I can sacrifice these 2. We have Recovery, so don't have to worry about that. We can evolve into Espathra EX. Put the Rugged Helmet. And then we can switch. Alright, great. And then we're only dealing 90 damage, but you know what? 90 damage is something. Right? Now that Espathra EX's ability is active, any of their attackers has to have 1 extra colorless energy, and they're just gonna end their turn. Okay, well, they're stuck, and we're gonna take advantage of that. We got another energy from our top deck, so I think I'll just increase my attack damage output, and I'm gonna target... Let me target this Flaffy, because once I knock out that Iron Hands, that's gonna put lightning energy on their discard pile, and that's just gonna create a lot of trouble if they can set up their other attackers easily. So we're just gonna knock that out, remove one of their energy accelerator. We got one of the Espathra EX from our prize, so that's great. Now the Puzzle and MINUN combo is actually really good, but it does clutter up your bench space. And I regret putting that Bidoof into play now. Now that I think about it. But at least we have a standby for our draw engine in case they knock out our Bibarel. We'll have another one ready to go. And thankfully Espathra EX has a huge amount of HP, but because of Path to the Peak, it actually turns it off and they are able to get an attack in. But thankfully, thanks to our rugged helmet, it removes one energy from their Iron Hands. And Worker will do its thing and remove that Path to the Peak. Again, increasing the energy requirement for my opponent's attacks. So what I could do here is, I actually like my hand here. So I'm just gonna keep it and just attack with Cyball, dealing 210 damage to their Iron Hands EX. I wish I had space for my MINUN. It would actually help me out here, because if they attach an energy to their Iron Hands EX, it will knock it out once it puts that 2 damage counters on it. But as it is, they're going to use TM Devolution. That will devolve our Bibarel and our Espathra EX, also knocking out our Flittle. Oh no. What I could do is actually use Farfetch'd now. At least Iron Hands EX will not be in play anymore. Once we knock it out, we'll double up its damage plus 20. And we can just use Raihan to power it up. We go ahead and evolve into another our Bibarel. And then use Raihan, power this guy up. And then what I could do is, let's see here, I could get my Tulip, but I need to recover first. Attach for turn. Super Rod to recover these guys in 1 energy. And then since I don't have any Flittle, I'm just going to use Nestash. And then I'm going to use Bibarel. See what we can set up here. Boss's Order is really great. Another Bibarel, okay. So we can spare 1. Tulip, great. All we have to do is use it up or discard it somehow. We can still draw 1 extra card with this Bibarel, and then we're just gonna use Leak Lash again, doubling up that damage, so we're dealing 230 damage. So we get 2 extra prizes thanks to our Farfetch. So don't underestimate Farfetch, guys. It is actually an awesome Pokemon. So now my opponent promotes their Mew EX in the active, and they have Raikou V on their bench, attaching an energy, and our MINUN's ability takes into effect, putting 2 damage counters to their Raikou V. So without any other energies to help them accelerate, they'll just end their turn. We will boss this guy, and we can double up its damage, 110. Not quite enough to knock it out, but hey, if they attach an energy to it, if they don't have any switch, it will knock it out. So again, Plusle and MINUN, they have a switch. Of course they do. But having Plusle and MINUN is actually really sneaky, because your opponent least expects it, and each time they attach an energy, they get that damage counter. And since this Espathra EX damage output is not always a guarantee that you're gonna get a lot of damage in, it's actually really great to put those chip damage. They will knock out our Farfetch'd, but that also removes an energy from their Raikou V. Again, another energy attachment will mean 2 damage to their Pokemon. I'm going to start another Espathra EX line. And then go ahead and recover boss's orders. And then I can use Tulip to increase my attack, but I think I'll do that later. Go ahead and use Industrious Incisors, just digging for something that we could use here. Espathra is great too. That can negate attack later on. But we really can't evolve into Espathra just yet. And there's really nothing to devolve either, so our TM devolution is really going to be useless. So I'll go ahead and just use Raihan. And then let's see what we could do here. Could just prep this for next turn. And I'm just gonna end my turn. Alright. Hopefully they don't have a boss, so that our Flittle... Okay. They have a boss. They will attack our Flittle. But they're only taking one prize. Alright, MINUN's ability, again, will take effect. 60 damage to their Raikou V. Electric Generator produces them nothing again, bro. Okay. Lightning Ronda will take another knockout. Okay, this is really bad. As long as they don't have unlimited boss orders, so that's fine. They need 3 more knockouts to win this game. Let me see. I could dwindle down my hand with Ultra Ball, but go ahead and use Nest Dash. Double Turbo Energy. Okay. Draw 4. Okay. We have a Psychic Energy for our Flittle. Artisan. And then draw 2 more with this Bibarel. And Mimikyu. Okay. End my turn. Now Bibarel is in the active spot. Hopefully they knock it out. I really want them to knock it out. That way we can free up space on our board here. Set up another Flittle. Another Espathra lineup. I guess one of the things that you could really... plan ahead on is not cluttering up your board and just knowing what Pokemon you need or is necessary so that you don't clutter up. Alright, they're gonna use Arven. Ultra Ball. They're going for another Flaffy. Yep. And that's actually gonna prevent them from taking damage when they use Dynamotor to accelerate lightning energy to their Pokemon. They will attack with Raikou V, knocking out our Bibarel. Alright, that's great. Now we have free space on our board for another Espathra line, and I really want to use the other Espathra. Let me just evolve here, and we're going to attach the Double Turbo Energy to increase our attack by 40, and I'm going to Iono. And without any other draw engine except for their Mew, we should be okay. And I'm just gonna keep this Tulip, I think. We just need to discard it, and then we can increase our attack for our other Espathra. So Psyball is not gonna produce enough damage to knock out this Raikou V, unfortunately. It's gonna deal enough damage to put 220, but we're 30 damage short of knocking it out. If they put an energy onto it to attack, it's gonna produce 10 more damage, or we will still have 10 HP left. But with a Beach Court, that actually reduces the retreat cost, and that's fine. They can retreat anytime they want anyways. And they're gonna use Dynamotor. Without any energy in their hand, Raikou V might just not be able to attack. or any of their Pokemon, because they need exactly, well, for Raikou V they need 3. Electric Generator produces them nothing again. That's 0 for 3, guys. That man, that's really unfortunate for my opponent. So even if they retreat this Raikou V, they won't have enough energy, and they're just gonna attach to Mew EX. They could have used that on their Miraidon EX, although we could just retaliate and knock it out if they do that. But they only need 2 more prizes, so really, they could have just done that. Put enough damage counter on Espathra EX, and then just take 1 more prize afterwards. Okay, they're gonna retreat into Zapdos and end their turn. Okay, well, that is fine. We got boss orders. We could just take out Raikou V, I guess. Right? Well, we have 2 targets. Go ahead and use bosses or just get this Miraidon EX with a lot of energy. At least we'll have eliminated one that has a lot of energies to attack. 190. Oh, dude. Okay, we're 1 energy short. But that's fine. 210 is fine. Again, they'll need 1 more energy, and with it in the active spot, they have to attach an energy from their hand to this Miraidon EX to attack. Because they cannot accelerate energy with their Flaffy. Flaffy only accelerates energy to their bench. And like I said, that's why MINUN is very sneaky. But they have Path to the Peak. Oh no! So they can actually attack with their Pokemon without being affected by Espathra EX's ability. And since we only have 8 cards left in the deck, our resources are dwindling down as well. And they're gonna attack with Photon Blaster. Espathra EX survives by 30 HP. Let me go ahead and put Psychic Energy, and hopefully we can find Espathra. And I'm thinking of negating an attack. I mean, we have 7 cards left in the deck, right? If we can negate an attack and my opponent doesn't have any boss orders available, we could still survive a turn, hopefully. Yeah, we're just gonna have to take a chance here. I'll just use Tulip, and I will recover these, and then I'm just gonna hope for the best, guys. I hope we draw into Espathra, because if we don't, we will lose this game. So I'm gonna use Nest Dash. Industrious Incisors. Dude, we got it! Yes! Okay, cool. I'm going to evolve into Espathra. We can knock out this Miraidon EX. I just hope they don't have a boss orders, because if they do, that's it. We're gonna use Stan's ability. So now we're immune to any damage or effects of attacks. And we're gonna use Glittering Eyes, and since we have Tulip in the discard pile, we are dealing 140 damage. So we will take out this Miraidon, getting us 2 more prizes. 1 more prize to go, and we have an Iono. That's actually a great disruption. But since our turn ended, we can't use it anymore. So in my opponent's next turn, if they have a boss orders, that's it. They win the game. They need 2 more prizes. They can target my Espathra EX on the bench, 230. They just need 30 damage to knock it out. But do they have boss orders is the question. They have Raichu V that can deal a lot of damage with enough energies in play. I mean, they have used up 2 bosses orders already, so how many more bosses orders do they have in the deck? They have 18 cards left. They have 2 cards in their price, so the probability is still pretty high for them to have access to boss's orders. That's the thing. And there's the professor's research. That means we will survive another turn here. Espathra is immune to any damage or effects of attack. They will just retreat into Zapdos. And you know what, guys? We will end this match with Espathra. Using Glittering Eyes, 140 damage is enough to knock out the Zapdos to take our last prize for the win. And there you have it, guys. Espathra EX is actually really awesome. Good game. Alright, on to our next match. Dude, we got both Plusle and MINUN. That's really awesome. We're gonna start this match with a Farfetch'd in the active spot. And we have both Plusle and MINUN on our bench. And that's really great, since now each time my opponent attaches an energy from their hand to their Pokemon, they will take damage. Let me just put an energy to Farfetch'd, and I'm gonna end my turn. We are going against Tsareena EX. Bro, this is gonna be really tough, because if they can negate our attacks, Espathra EX might just become useless. And Tsareena EX doesn't require a lot of energies either. And it has a ton of HP, so I don't know what we're gonna do here. They have Rotom V, instant charge to end their turn, draw 3. Alright. We got an Iono. We could just shuffle up that hand of theirs. Besides, we need to set up even further here. Alright, we got a Bibarel or Bidoof, but we don't want to clog up our bench here. And I'm just going to set up Flittle with this level ball. And with Pokegear, we could get a worker in case they use Path with Peak. And then what I could do is just attack with Leak Clash, deal 20 damage. If they don't evolve this into a Tsareena EX, we could knock it out next turn. Especially if we double up their damage. Plus 20, so that's 40 damage. We can knock out Bounce Sweep. We can knock out this Bounce Sweep, get our first prize. Because we really want to just knock out as much as we can, get as many prizes as we can. And one other strategy that I have for this is also stack up enough damage to their Bounce Sweets or even Tsareena EX, and then we can use TM Devolution to knock them all out at the same time. And if they run out of rare candies, they might just not be able to set up another Tsareena EX. So that's gonna be our plan. And MINUN's ability is helping out here. Hopefully, I guess our target damage is 60. And if they use rare candy, we could just knock out any evolved Tsareena EX with TM Devolution. Alright, cool. We'll put an energy to this Flittle, and then we can set up another one. We can use Ultra Ball and just sacrifice these two to get my Bibarel. And then gonna use Industrious Incisors for 3. Alright, we got Espathra EX, but I will not evolve it. Because if they evolve into Tsareena EX, they can reduce my HP down to 30. And we might just not be able to attack. So, I'm just gonna take a knockout against this Bounce Sweep in the active spot. Especially it has Panic Mask. And that Panic Mask is pretty dangerous. So we'll take our first prize with the Level Ball. And there's another Bounce Sweep. Okay, boss orders. My Bibarel. They could actually take a knockout here. But doesn't seem like they are gonna be able to evolve into anything, I hope. And they're just gonna instant charge. Okay, we are looking good. Consistency with Tsareena EX is a little doubtful, but once you start setting it up, that's where danger starts to come. Again, I'm going to use Iono. Hopefully that will disrupt their hand prevent them from evolving into any Tsareena EX. Alright, we got basic energy. I could put it on this Flittle, and then I could just not use that, and then just thin out my hand so I can draw 2. Right hand is good. I'm gonna use League Clash to get another knockout against this Bounce Suite, getting us now 2 prizes ahead of our opponent. Double Turbo Energy is great. So one strategy I have for this too is prevent my Flittle from evolving until I start to attack. That way they can't really reduce my HP down to its lowest point. And then we can just evolve, attack, and nothing can prevent our attack damage output. Panic Mask. And they don't have Vanillux right now, so this might not even use a Vanillux. So we should be able to freely get around that. Again, our target HP or damage is 60. And if we attack with Flittle, it's not gonna be enough to deal enough damage to get that 60 damage onto the Tsareena EX. And alright, they will deal 50 damage. They're reducing my HP down to 30, but Vanillux is on the way, and that's really, really dangerous. There's really nothing I could use to knock out that Vanillite. I have boss's orders, but I'll only be dealing 20 damage. I mean, I could start dealing damage on it, but what I could do is just start to energize my Flittle, and with no guards on this Tsareena EX, I'm just gonna deal that extra damage. Now it's within knockout range. Once we use TM Devolution, we just need to do the same thing to those other Tsareena EX lineup on their bench, and even that Vanillite. And hopefully Espathra EX can help us out here by disrupting their energy requirement. There goes another Tsareena EX with so many HP, so much HP on them. It's gonna be a lot harder for us to take them out without using the TM Devolution. So that's gonna be our main goal. Rare Candy into Vanillux. Okay, now our Farfetch cannot attack at all. We will need to deal that 60 damage on it. Then when we use TM Devolution, we can take it out and not have to worry about not being able to deal or not being able to attack, period. MINUN will take effect, and that's enough damage onto it. And I really don't want to waste this Technical Machine Devolution just yet. Now I wish I had the boss orders. We have Artisan though. That will kick out their Dyna Tree, which prevents any healing to be done. And I'm gonna go ahead and just use Squovit here. Nest Stash that we can hopefully draw into boss orders or something. Tulip could be helpful. We can actually prevent them from reducing our HP. Once we evolve into the other Espathra. Let's go ahead and recover these 2 Ionos. I could continue to disrupt their hand. And then I'm going to use Iono. Hopefully we draw into Espathra. Just the regular Espathra. Alright, Ultra Ball is good. Icicle Soul is just so powerful. I'm going to go ahead and just discard these 2. That's fine. And there's the Espathra. We need that stance ability to prevent any effects of attacks so we can steer clear from Icicle Soul and even prevent their Vanillux from taking an effect because we will have full HP. Unfortunately, this one only works with attack damage, so we're just gonna deal 70 damage. We don't have Tulip on the discard pile, so I mean, I'm thinking of just knocking out the Tsareena EX in the active, to be honest with you. 2 prizes, that way once we use TM Devolution, maybe we can take two Pokemon out with that, and that's gonna be a lot easier for us to win the game. Yeah, because with 3 Tsareena EX, this is gonna be really tough. Man, okay, that's a lot of HP. We just need 60 damage to 2 of them, to that Vanillux. 90 damage to the other Tsareena because they were able to evolve into their stage 1, which has a lot more HP. And they even have Forest Sealstone to find any 1 card from their deck. And they're just gonna use Icicle Soul. But Espathra is immune! Alright, they wasted that move. That is good for us, man. I am okay with that. I'll go ahead and put Rugged Helmet in the active spot because the only way they can knock it out is with a regular attack. Got another Rugged Helmet. I'll just put it on this Flittle. Use Industrious Incisors for 5. And Technical Machine we won't need to use just yet. See what we could do here. Just gonna use Iono. Maybe I can start to attack with Espathra EX. Again, maybe we can disrupt their attack, but we didn't get it, so just attacking with 70 damage to this Tsareena EX without a let up, I think we should be okay. They're going to boss my Bibarel though, which is really bad. Now our draw will be affected. But they're just gonna go with Icicle Soul to target our Espathra. Okay. That actually prevents us from attacking at all with this Pokemon. I'll use Worker, discard that. And then I guess I could continue to energize this Flittle. That way we can increase its damage output once we evolve into Espathra EX. Right? But let's see here. Let's I'm gonna go ahead and switch into this Flittle. Hopefully we can find our Espathra EX, right? Mimikyu, okay. Industrious Incisors. Mimikyu is actually not helpful here. Dude, where's my Espathra? I'm just gonna retreat then. And yeah, we can't attack because of that Vanillux. I'm just gonna end my turn. Alright. We're gonna sacrifice this Espathra, unfortunately, but if they knock it out, we will be able to, or that Rugged Helmet will be able to remove their energy, and then we can use Raihan to accelerate energy, get a Espathra EX, we don't have to dig for it, and then hopefully get ahead in the price exchange, and we'll worry about the other 2, TM Devolution, and then get all our prizes that way. Alright, let's go ahead and use Super Rod, get these 2 and 1 energy. And then can set up another Flittle. Use Raihan. Accelerate energy here. Get this Espathra EX. And then let's see how much damage we're dealing here. I think this should be enough, right? Use Nest Dash. That way we can maximize our draw with Bibarel. Draw 4. Boss's Orders. Okay, that's going to be very helpful in our next few turns. 160. Is 160 enough? Yeah, that should be enough, right? So Cyball will deal 160 damage for a total of 350. getting us 2 prizes. We actually took 1 Tsareena EX out. Alright, very good. So now my opponent will have to attach an extra energy so that they can use Icicle Soul and reduce the damage on our Espathra EX. That extra attachment will deal 2 damage thanks to our MINUN. And we just need 10 more damage to the Tsareena EX. So when we devolve it, we should be able to knock it out. But they're getting ready to attack with Hisuian Braviary. And with the HP reduction, that could net them multiple prizes. So that's going to be really bad for us. Now, again, with Vanillix in play, we cannot attack with Espathra EX. So we have to figure out what we need to do here. We'll need 90 damage on this to actually knock it out, now that I check again. Okay. And Tulip could be helpful. If we have another Espathra, we can negate damage again. But I could also stall with this Vanillux, take this out, and then be able to just attack their Pokemon. Industrious Incisors. Got TM Evolution. Okay, we don't need that right now. Raihan could be helpful too, but I think they just need a few more turns to reduce HP to us and then use Hisuian Braviary. So it's almost endgame for us. We're running out of resources here, but we're gonna do our best. So I'll just get Raihan with the Pokegear, and then yeah, I can't attack because of this Vanillix. So I'm just gonna end my turn. Let's see if they can retreat it. Yeah, my opponent has the upper hand, but they have 2 cards left in their deck, and they need 4 more prizes, which is easily gained if they can evolve into Hisuian Braviary the next few turns. Oh, they're just gonna... Oh, bro! I can't believe we won that! They scooped! Alright, I'll take it! Good game! And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.